forward your notice of motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May the 7th is the projected date for the local elections. May the 7th, 2026, that is. It's also an interesting day in British and European history. It was in 1765, the day that HMS Victory, Lord Nelson's flagship, was launched at Chatham Dockyard. It was in 1544, the day, and this is perhaps of some curiosity to you, Mr. Chairman, as a Scotsman, and Professor Lavalette, the day the English army burned Edinburgh. It was also in 1945, the day before victory in Europe was declared. And of course, that day, very, very importantly, was a day where so many people, soldiers and suffragettes alike, gave so much sacrifice, heroic sacrifice, to establish this crucible of democracy. And when we ascend the staircase to this building and we enter this chamber, we pass, do we not, a memorial to those council members who gave their lives to establish this democratic process. We are the beneficiaries of that process, but unfortunately, the Local Government Act of 2000, a piece of Blairite legislation, part of the Blairite architecture, and I'll be as generous as I can to my erstwhile Prime Minister, the manner in which the chaos and carnage of his domestic and foreign policy inflicted upon the British people, most notably perhaps foreign policy in the Middle East, has resulted in purportedly democracy being divested from Westminster and invested in the regions. And the Local Government Act, specifically Section 87, curiously, surreptitiously, invidiously, and insidiously manages to circumvent and subvert that democratic process, because Section 87 provides and empowers the Secretary of State to, by virtue of statutory instrument, effectively postpone local elections. It was utilised in 2025, and it is suggested that it's going to be used and utilised once again to postpone the democratic process next year and deny the electorate its vote. The Reform UK group in Lancashire seeks its repeal, and we seek the Local Government Association to lobby government on our behalf in relation to pushing government to give us that assurance that the local elections will take place and that democracy will not be denied. Usually, the democratic process, it is my privilege to be here to propose this motion. It is the democratic process which enables my colleagues opposite to oppose it, to debate it. That piece of legislation and the Secretary of State, they're looking to deny democracy. And it's my privilege today to hold that torch of democracy aloft, and rather than use it as a cudgel to bludgeon the opposition opinion, to seek to hold it as a torch for everybody to coalesce around, to gain some consensus on this particular issue. And so I implore my colleagues, find your consciences, be true to your consciences, and request that this motion, support this motion, request that the elections proceed. Of course, there is an adverse inference potentially that could be drawn from people who do not support it. Perhaps the more cynically minded and suspicious councillors and members of the electorate might think that those who oppose it are running scared in the face of what might be significant territorial losses in the local elections. But nonetheless, I read with dismay in the local and national Labour press and Labour politicians in the national press characterising the cancellation of the elections as a method of reducing expenditure. That, of course, is a smokescreen for the real truth, which is they do face the prospect of being utterly eviscerated in the local elections. The further brutal truth is that no price can be placed upon democracy. The memorial outside shows that. To demean the democratic elections and that process as mere expenditure in that parsimonious and myopic way is an insult to the sacrifices of those soldiers, and I say again, suffragettes, men and women, who paid the ultimate price in order to establish this process, which we enjoy and participate in so much and so often. At Reform, we recognise that sacrifice. At Reform, we acknowledge that sacrifice, and we recognise and respect the sanctity of the democratic process. And as a consequence, at Reform, we demand that these elections proceed unhindered.
Thank you, Councillor. Do I have